Okay, good afternoon, everyone. This afternoon we have Emma Andrews who's going to be talking to us about civil engineering and what her path entailed and what careers obstacles she may have faced, any highlights to her careers. Also, how has COVID impacted her daily routine? We ask that you put all questions or comments in the chat box and she can address them at that time. Thank you so much, Emma, for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm glad to be here, glad to talk about civil engineering. Like you said, my name's Emma Andrus. I am 22 years old. I'm from here in Victoria. I went to West High School and I graduated in 2015. After I graduated, I went straight to A&M. And while I was at A&M, I was part of the Corps of Cadets, which is a student organization, the largest student organization on campus, and it's focused on developing students into better leaders, better citizens, just, all around better people. And then I studied civil engineering. I graduated in December 2019, so just a few months ago. And then I straight came to work here at Urban Engineering in Victoria, and I'm glad to be back. I've been back for like 5 months now, and really getting into a good routine on work and life and all that good stuff. So what is civil engineering? Civil engineers are tasked with designing, building, and maintaining the infrastructure system. So that's anything from water, sewer, roads, bridges, even airports, buildings, all that kind of stuff that we use on a day-to-day basis is designed by civil engineers. So obviously civil engineers are super important to the community and to our nation, and to individual citizens and families. So the reason I chose civil engineering is because civil engineers have a huge impact on their community. Growing up, I really liked to do service work and help anyone that I could, and so civil engineering was a good fit of helping people and also using my natural gift of being good at math and science and those kind of things. So it was a good mix for me. And so what level of training is required to be a civil engineer? So you have to get a bachelor's of science from a accredited university. So that would be Texas A&M, UT, Texas Tech, University of Houston. All those big schools have great engineering programs and you can study civil engineering there. Once you do that, you take a couple exams, and if you pass all those, you become an engineer in training, which is your entry-level position into civil engineering. And so as an engineer in training, you basically learn how to build stuff, whether it's a water line, a road, a sewer system, a subdivision. Your time as an engineer in training is all learning, growing, figuring out how to be a civil engineer. And so after you do 4 years as an engineer in training, you can apply to get a license to be a professional engineer in the state of Texas or any state that you live in. And so that's kind of the early progression that you would take in the civil engineering field. Once you become a licensed civil engineer, more opportunities will open up where you can go into more of like a supervisor role or things like that. And so kind of a typical day in the life of a engineer in training, for me, is a lot of creating engineering plans. And so basically what that is I draw a 2D version of whatever is intended to be built. And I'm trying to communicate with whoever the builder is all the necessary information about how to put something together. And so as I do that, I have to spend a lot of time reviewing rules related to design, looking at different, historic projects to see how things were done in the past. How can we make this new design consistent with what's already in the area? So stuff like that, try to make things cohesive, make everything work together, and at the end of the day, easy for the builder to get the job done. When I'm not designing engineering plans, a lot of times I will go out to a job site to see how things are being built, because I'm in this learning phase as being an engineer in training. It's really important for me to get out there and literally see how things get put together. The more that I can see it get built, the more I can see how people are doing things. It makes it easier for me to know how to draw the plans and how to put things together. Let's see what else. And so that kind of leads into what I enjoy most about my job is that every single day I get to learn something new. So I'm an engineer in training right now. I have a lot to learn. I learn something new every day. But as I keep going through my career and even after I get my engineering license, I'm excited because I'll get to keep learning throughout my whole career because every single project needs unique solutions. And just because you built something one way here in Victoria doesn't mean that you'll build it the exact same way somewhere else. Every community, every different project has its own challenges, and so it needs creative design and creative solutions to meet the needs of the community that you're trying to help. And so basic academic knowledge that you need to be able to do this is all your math, so any algebra, calculus, and then your sciences. So you're going to need your chemistry, your physics, and then as you progress through school, your engineering classes will take that base knowledge of math and science and merge them together and help you solve real-world solutions. And so in addition to that academic knowledge, just kind of general knowledge is just knowing how kind of the world works and how things go together and things get put together. So I always tell people, ask why. Why is the power line like this? Why is water like this? Because it'll help you in the long run in your career if you know just a general idea of how things work and how things go together. And then talking a little bit about COVID-19. So I'd only been working maybe a month or 2 months maybe, when all this kind of started picking up. So when all that happened, we briefly shifted to a work at home. And luckily I had a workstation set up where I could remote log into my desktop here and still keep working on engineering plans, kind of keep up with what I had been doing in the office. And luckily we were able to come back to the office recently, so I'm back here, which is really nice and makes it easy to get work done, and I can be in contact with other people in the office. So it hasn't had too bad of an impact. I was very lucky. Of course, we're keeping the office really clean, wiping down surfaces, using hand sanitizer. I have a mask in case I need it. And so not a huge impact, thankfully. But we're going to keep doing those things to stay safe, stay healthy, and all that good stuff. So I think I see that we have some chats. I'll click on those and see. Could the courses be taken online? What has been the most challenging job you have completed? So I did take some of my courses online over the summer just to keep up, keep on time with my degree program. And depending on what school you go to, some offer more online classes than others do. I was really lucky. A&M, anytime I needed to take an online class, because they're so large, they offered it online, which made it really easy for me to come home in the summers and do internships and keep moving through my degree plan. So that's a long answer, but short answer, yes, you can take a lot of the classes online. And then the most challenging job I've ever completed was probably a job where I designed a couple fishing piers for the community. And the reason it was challenging is because it was the first project that my boss said, hey, this is what we're trying to do, run with it. And that was challenging and exciting because I was able to put my own twist on it. And once I really got going with it, I checked back in with them and said, hey, what do you think of this? What do you think of that? And we worked through it. And so it was challenging because it was the first time that I worked through the design myself. And so that was also really rewarding to do that. Let's see, while growing up, did you attend any summer camps or additional training to help you gain a passion for engineering? So my mom was a science teacher, well, is a science teacher, and so she always made sure that we were going to different camps, going to museums and interactive events to really develop a passion for learning in me and all my siblings. And so I would say that's what drove me to become an engineer. And I just happened to be good at math, like math. And so it kind of, my mom developing that passion for learning, and then just my natural gift for being able to do math kind of led me to engineering. Plus, I had great mentors along the way that were like, hey, you're good at math, you should really look into civil engineering. And I took their advice, thankfully, and it all worked out. So I'm really thankful for those people that guided me, and my parents for developing the passion for learning in me and my siblings. And then, what has the work environment been like for a female in a male dominated industry? So I haven't really, the work environment here at Urban is really great. Everyone has been welcoming and eager to help me since I showed up for an internship, and then throughout my internship and these early months of me being like a new employee. Everyone's been super nice, and anytime I ask a question or need help, everyone's always been happy to help me. And then I would say, I can't speak about other engineering disciplines, but civil engineering, when I was at school and in the workforce, I've noticed that there's actually quite a few females, and so I haven't really had any issues with it at all, so which I'm thankful for. And then, what soft skills do you utilize in your role? So a lot of what we do, we have to talk to public officials or community members about what their vision is for the project, or their what they want the outcome to be and their goals for what we're working on. So it's important to be able to communicate with different types of people, and also be able to listen, understand, and accept people's feedback. And so those, I would say, that listening, understanding, and just being able to communicate is really important. Verbally and written. I get a lot of emails. I send a lot of emails, so it's really important to be able to get your point across in an effective way, through an email or a Word document or whatever. Do you have to work with a team or alone? So both. It just depends on what the project is and how big of a project it is, but on it just depends. And so it's important that you know your stuff, so that whenever, if push comes to shove and you have to get something done on your own, that you have developed the skills along the way that you can do it. But then also, I've worked on some big projects where, me, my boss, and other employees in the office, we all come together and do our piece and combine it to get the final product out. So you have to be able to work with a team, but you also have to be able to be independent and get stuff done. Please tell us more about your summer internships. So I did 3 internships while I was in school. So after my sophomore year of college, I did an internship in San Antonio with a surveying company. And surveying is, people go out and they use GPS and different tools to identify things that are existing at a project site and to identify the boundary of the site and things like that. And that's kind of the first step for any civil engineering project. So I did that internship first to kind of get an understanding of what surveying is. And that was 4 months, 3 or 4 months, immediately after my sophomore year of college. And then after my junior year of college, I came back to Victoria and I did an internship here at Urban Engineering. And I interned like with the engineering department, not the surveying department. And what I did during that first internship was I learned how to draw engineering plans, and I learned just a lot about the engineering process and the different processes that they do here at Urban for different projects. And so that first internship, it was a lot of learning. And it set me up for my second internship. I came back the following summer and I kind of continued on the same path, drawing engineering plans, and I got more and more responsibility as I learned more things and gained the ability to do different stuff, and I gained an understanding of different projects. And then I was really happy at the end of that internship, they offered me a full-time position, and so when I graduated in December, I just came right back and have been here as an engineer in training for just over 5 months now. So, and then was the internship paid and did I get college credit for it? Yes and yes. So luckily, it was a paid internship, which was really good because it helped me when I went back to school, pay for books and supplies and food and all that good stuff. And I did get college credit for it. So at A&M, one of the requirements to graduate is that you do an internship for the civil engineering department. So what you do is you do your summer or whenever you do your internship. Some people do it during the academic semesters. Other people do it during the summer, which is what I did. And then after your internship, you write a report about what you learned, different challenges you faced, and you get credit with the department, and it's required for your degree. So yes. And those look to be all the questions we have. I don't know if there are any other questions or anything else I can elaborate on.
Ray Spencer with McCombs Properties, line 1, Ray.
Thank you so much, Emma. Does anyone else have any questions at this time? Please feel free to comment them, or you can also unmute your mics if necessary. With no further questions, I do appreciate you all for joining us. Thank you, Emma, so much for your time and your patience to connect with us. If anyone has anything at a later date and time they want to address, please feel free to email me or contact the Workforce Solutions Office, and we can relay those questions to Emma. Once again, thank you all for joining. Thank you, Emma, for presenting. You all stay safe and stay healthy.